Okay, so you guys said that you wanted a lesson on what I did for the Tackle the Riff Tuesday video this time, instead of just putting a slow-mo video out, so that's cool. This is going to be a little bit different, so bear with me while we kind of walk through this, because it's new for me as well. But basically, this sort of like, I don't know why I call them riffs, they're like 1-minute solos. This solo breaks down into a couple different parts. The opening part that you see in it is sort of a reverse tapping idea where we're barring with the right hand and then just playing hammer-ons and pull-offs with the left hand. Do that because if I tried to do all that tapping the right hand, it'd be a messier. Just because the hand's moving around a lot, we get a lot of excess noise coming from scraping along the fretboard and the strings. So that's sort of a riff off of Satriani does it on Raspberry Delta Jam. His is so with this we're just sitting in A minor, so we're barring the 5th fret. So if we look at it, we're just E, F, G, so it's all natural notes. You want to think about it, you can think of yourself as, for scales I guess, you can put yourself, say, in like the D Dorian scale. That'll get you started for the... And then from there it's just sort of like thinking about playing the scale on one string in a sequence. And then ending on the A note. So that's what's going on there. Then we just have this silly little it's like all the cool guys moves. Basically all I'm doing is giving myself a little rake across the strings and a slide out on the way back down. And then coming back up for just a quick descending A minor or sweeping arpeggio. So that's a 5-string arpeggio, just in descending. And then it moves into it's like a Van Halen inspired tapping thing. I just transcribed the piano solo for Jump the other week, and that sound was kind of sticking in my head. So all we're really doing is we're doing this cool thing where he does a lot. He actually plucks the note with his tapping finger to get it started because he's got an open note. So all we're doing is plucking the open, then hammering on 7, 8, 10, 12, pulling it off, 15, 17, 20, 17, 15. And then I do a little slide up to 17, back to 5. So slowly it's... And then this sounds like something straight up a Double Dragon video. The whole thing sounds like an 80s video game. So we're just on the A. Then just to get that cool little like 80s sound, what you're doing is you bend the note up, release it, and then nail it to slide out real quick. So, like I said, you're bending, releasing, striking it to slide out super fast. Bend, release, slide out super fast. A little vibrato on the end. So the next little thing, I riff on this a lot, so it comes out a little bit different all the time, but basically what I'm doing is you can think of it if you want as like being in the E Phrygian mode here. So all I'm doing is kind of like a hybrid thing. Sometimes I'll pick it. I think in the video I picked it. And coming out into the A note. So it's just a... nothing fancy. All I'm doing is kind of going up the scale and back down. And you use kind of like a triplet idea of... and I do the exact same thing, but come down here into basically the top of the C major. Or, did I go there? Yep. Same idea, so it's using the top of the C major scale. And then I come down into the G note. So this is just following the roots of the chords. And then this is kind of, I wanted to stay in the 3-string pattern, so you can think of this as your B Locrian if you want. But I didn't get into any kind of repeating sequence, I just stayed over it, kept repeating the pattern. And then came out in sort of like a A minor pentatonic. And I do that a ton, it's just so it's just a sequence pattern. But I like sliding out into that position below, so the pattern 4 position, if you want to call it, out of the pentatonic. Just to get that nice G to come back into the A. And then the end, I don't know, I've just had this thing lately where I've had this kind of like quarter note triplet vibe, sort of ascending. Kind of in a, like, sort of an arpeggiated thing that's very pentatonic based though when you get up into the end of it. And then this is like a Eric Johnson inspired kind of thing, like Cliffs of Dover, like the kind of idea, but I wait until it goes to the G chord and then get on the A. And basically what I'm doing is hitting the root, the octave, and the 5th of the chord. Working up my A, my B, my C, my D, my E, my F, my G. And then, again, it's kind of like a Satriani type idea with the it's sort of like playing on the Dorian instead of the actual minor. So you get that sharp 6 in there instead of the flat 6. So that would be your minor 6 there. But instead we get the Dorian 6. And then just that's really all it is. So it's just sort of a bunch of broken down riffs inspired by, I would say, some of my favorite guitar players. I mean, you can see the Satriani stuff on the back wall. I'll admit, looks a little wacky playing it on a Telecaster, I guess, but you know, this LSL thing has been glued to my hand since I got it, and I think we're gonna look at getting another one, maybe a Strat this time. But you know, that's sort of the breakdown of what's going on. If everybody's interested, I can probably tab it out. Well, I can't tab it out and post it, but that's sort of your video breakdown on Tackle the Riff Tuesday 37. I hope you guys enjoy.